Hello and welcome. For those who don't know me, my name is Chanel and I have just done 2 months in Thailand. For those of you who have been watching my Thailand videos, you've probably not seen me on camera a lot. So I wanted to do this video to sit down and connect with you and also share why I went to Thailand and give you an honest opinion of what I liked about Thailand and what I didn't like about Thailand. Maybe share some tips I learned along the way, and most importantly, let you know what I learned about myself. So stick around right to the end to find out. Okay, so I do have a few notes here that I will be referring to so I don't keep waffling on. So I'd like to start off first with why I spent 2 months in Thailand. And I did mention that in one of my videos in Krabi, I think it was, where I told you about why I was doing 2 months in Thailand. Now, I didn't do a solo trip. I did travel with my girlfriend, Kerry. And it was a bit of a recon mission where, I was looking for somewhere that I could spend maybe 3 to 6 months. I'm not ready for full-time living overseas, but 3 to 6 months. And I did have a few places in mind, like Bali, Thailand and Malaysia, but I chose to go with Thailand first for a few different reasons, which I will get into. The first reason being obviously the warm, welcoming hospitality of the Thai people. Absolutely, I have traveled to Thailand before, so it's not my first trip to Asia or Thailand. Prior to my YouTube channel, I have been a regular traveler and have traveled multiple times in the year. So Asia is not new to me, but I was looking at Asia from a different lens now. I was looking to find a spot where I could spend maybe 3 to 6 months of the year, and then 3 to 6 months, for those who don't know, I am from Australia, back in Australia. So those are the reasons for going. So we started off in the south of Thailand and I traveled right through the southern islands right to the north. You can go and watch all my videos. There's about 25 or 30 of them, and follow my journey through. Stick around right to the end to find out if I did find a spot that I fell in love with. But let's get into what I loved and what I didn't like about spending 2 months in Thailand. Okay, so what did I love? Obviously, I've mentioned the people and the food. Thai food is my favorite food. So I absolutely am drawn to Thailand for the food. Now, I do have a food channel that I teach you how to cook. I will leave a link in the description below. So there was an interest where I could do a travel channel and also have content for my food channel. And you will find a lot of food videos on there, market videos. So obviously, let's get back to the topic. Food and people were number one on my list for going to Thailand, for picking Thailand. The second reason that I absolutely loved Thailand, which we discovered when we were traveling, was the ease of travel. We did a rough itinerary, but we hadn't locked anything in and we weren't too sure about how we were getting from A to B. And what I absolutely loved was the ease of travel. We were literally picked up from one place, driven, bought tickets, everything was organized for us. And I absolutely cannot tell you how easy that was to get around and see the country. So easy. They make it so easy for you. So we did take public transport, across the country, buses, things like that, ferries, boats, and it is super, super organized. I cannot stress that enough. So if you're new to Thailand and thinking to travel to Thailand, by all means, it's not hard at all. They make it super easy for you. The next thing is safety. I did feel very, very safe in Thailand. And as I said, it wasn't my first time to Thailand, so I knew that was not going to be an issue. Obviously, be careful, but safety wasn't an issue for us. I mean, I wasn't out late at night and, very late at night, but Thailand generally is very safe. Next up is the absolute beauty of nature in Thailand. We did Koh Sok National Park, which is absolutely stunning and gorgeous. The beaches in Thailand, halfway through my trip, I was actually beached out. I don't know if that's a word, but each beach was so stunning and so gorgeous that you just took it for granted after a while. I mean, we have gorgeous beaches in Australia, but they're beautiful bays with nice, shallow, calm water, places to eat, have massages, which we don't have back in Australia. So yes, the nature. I do love the beaches and I do like an island vibe. So every beach I was like blown away. They have so many. Every beach you go to is absolutely stunning. So the nature, and of course also went up to Chiang Mai and it's beautiful up there. So the nature was absolutely gorgeous. If you're looking for a cultural experience, when you get more into Chiang Mai, it's absolutely beautiful and stunning there. So those were my top reasons what I absolutely loved in Chiang Mai. Let me think if there's any other. Oh yes, and of course, not to forget, it's budget friendly. So you can do Thailand on any budget, on a backpacker's budget to high end, whatever you want to spend. We did travel Thailand during the rainy season. So yes, hotels, we stayed in decent hotels. Yeah, I did do hotel reviews as well. You can see quite a lot of them. In Koh Lanta, we stayed at a gorgeous beachfront hotel. In Krabi, we stayed in a nice hotel. So it was very, very affordable. And that's what Thailand is also known for. So for all of those reasons, Thailand is a great destination for somebody who's looking to go there and find a spot for 3 to 6 months. Now, did I find the spot? Well, you got to wait till the end. What didn't I like about Thailand? Okay, there's not a lot, and this probably applies to not just Thailand, but everywhere. So when you go on a holiday for a week to 10 days, you're in the honeymoon phase, you're doing everything, and nothing really bothers you. And if it does bother you, you can kind of brush it off. But once you're in a country a bit longer, things start to irk you and things start to annoy you a little bit. And that's going to happen in any country. It's not just Thailand. Okay, so let me tell you, that's not just Thailand. The honeymoon period starts to wear off and then things start to irritate you a bit. Okay, so the very first thing I would mention, and that's not the country, it's the tropics, it's me. We traveled, and I think it's because we traveled during the rainy season. The humidity was very, very high, and I absolutely struggled with the humidity. It was, to the point where there were days where I didn't want to go out. So a lot of people do struggle with the humidity, but I do watch a lot of people who are expats in Thailand and have their YouTube videos, and they do say that you will adjust to that. The other thing that maybe it's not super annoying, but Thai people are so polite and so lovely, and they always want to say yes and they always want to please you, but you are going to have some communication issues or communication barriers, where you are going to get frustrated at time to time because they might not say no, but they haven't understood you, and you might get the wrong thing or send you off in the wrong direction. But hey, it's not major. So I really can't think of anything else. It was just the humidity and, the slight language problem. I did speak a few words of Thai. They thought that I was Thai, so that they would kind of maybe rattle off in Thai to me a bit, and so just the communication. After a while, when you've been there for longer, as I mentioned, these things start to kind of niggle on you, but you will kind of eventually settle down. So getting on to my next point is I wanted to talk to you about some tips traveling to Thailand, especially if you're new to Thailand. If you're a regular there, you can skip this bit. It's not going to apply to you. But if you're new to Thailand, I want to start off by saying, don't be afraid. Thailand is safe, even for females. So, number one, do not carry a lot of stuff, okay? Do not go with a great big huge suitcase, because you can get everything in Thailand, okay? I didn't do Bangkok on this trip, but just about all the other cities, Phuket and everywhere else, you can get things. So because we did so many stops along the way, it was so convenient not to have heavy baggage, carrying them from boats and going up steps. So do not take a lot of stuff. You can get most of the stuff there. It's so hot anyway that you're going to need very, very lightweight cotton stuff. So make sure it's cotton, loose fitting, nothing that's clinging to you. So that's tip number one. Don't carry a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm quickly going to go through this stuff because most of this is quite basic. Okay, so take local public transport, get a Grab. It's very, very simple to use the app. Make sure you get a local SIM. So I did get a local SIM, and then I topped up after 30 days. So get a local SIM, that way you've got Google Maps, you can find your way around anywhere. When you're going anywhere, learn a few Thai words, just please, thank you, and things like that. Make sure when you're going into temples, you cover your shoulders and you cover to your knees. Be respectful. And when we're talking about respect, something that we noticed when we were in Thailand, and it took us maybe about a week to click onto this, they play the Thai national anthem twice a day. So the Thai national anthem is played during the morning, and then again in the evening. I think it was around about 6 o'clock, and we were kind of like at market, and everyone stood still, and we could hear this music. It is broadcast, you can hear it over the loudspeakers, and we kind of didn't know what was happening at first, and everyone was quiet and still. So be respectful. That happens twice a day, so everybody stops, and it's like a minute of silence. So yes, be respectful of the culture. The Thai king is revered. It is an offense to speak against the Thai king. You can go to jail, and the locals can go to jail. So be very, very mindful of that, and be very respectful of the culture. And as I said, they have the national anthem. So just stop and take a minute's silence and pause when that happens. The next thing I want to mention is it's okay to barter and haggle. It's kind of expected, do it in a very polite, nice way. Ask them if there's a little bit of discount, because they're expecting it. So that's fine. And what would be my last tip? Avoid tuk-tuks if you can, especially when they're offering you a cheap deal to show you around the whole place for something ridiculous. Okay, so what you can do is, if you've got the Grab app, look up where you're going, get an idea of what the cost is going to be to get there, and then you've got leverage and you've got negotiating power. So if they ask you for something ridiculous, generally I would just offer them a little bit more and say, hey, it's this much on Grab, don't be crazy, like I'm not giving you that much. I'll give you a little bit more because you're here and I'm not waiting for a Grab. So yes, so those are my tips if you are visiting Thailand. Now let's go on to if I found a spot and what I have learned about myself and maybe my travel style. So thank you if you have made it so far. So as I mentioned earlier on in the video that I was looking for a spot for, you know, to settle for about 3 to 6 months. So as I was traveling around, I had this expectation that this was going to be the place, okay? And there were beautiful places, okay? I will tell you at the end which my 2 favorite places. So stick around for that. So every spot I went to, I would think, oh, Koh Lanta's going to be the place. I'm going to fall in love with Koh Lanta. And I was looking, so what was I looking for? Looking for a spot that's you can walk around, where there's plenty of things to do, you know, and there's somewhere that I'd feel safe. And it's also a feeling that you kind of feel like, oh yes, this is somewhere I could park myself for a little while. And then, you know, maybe we were moving too fast. We were probably 4 to 5 days in the spot. And I kind of wouldn't get that vibe. And then we'd move on to the next spot. And then I'd go, oh, this is going to be the spot. And this is going to be the spot. So I have learned that I shouldn't have had expectations, okay? Because I would then be disappointed. And I was moving from spot to spot thinking this could be the one. And right till I got to Chiang Mai, I fell in love with Chiang Mai. And because Chiang Mai was last on my list in Thailand, I had then given up. I thought, oh, you know, maybe Thailand's not for me. It's not happening. And then I got to Chiang Mai and absolutely loved Chiang Mai. It's so different to the rest of Thailand. And I honestly thought I would fall in love with the beach vibe. That is what I had in my head. A beach city, a beach town, or an island vibe. But it's hard for me to put into words what I loved about Chiang Mai. I decided to stay in Old Town, Chiang Mai, which I absolutely fell in love with. Everything's within walking distance, and you can honestly not walk half a kilometer, for those of you who've been there, without finding a temple. And it was just magical. It was monks and gorgeous temples. The food's slightly different. The people are more friendly. It didn't have that typical Thai tourist vibe. You know, it was different. The demographics of the tourists are different. And yes, I extended my stay in Thailand. If you watched my last video, you know that I told you that I extended my stay in Chiang Mai, I stayed in a small little boutique hotel. So I encourage you to stay in smaller hotels where you get to know the manager of the hotel and the staff there, because you'll have a different experience. Where was it? In Koh Phangan, we stayed in a small little boutique hotel, and Tom, the manager there, was absolutely amazing. There was only about 7 or 8 rooms, very nice, comfortable, spoke beautiful English, told us where to go, looked after us. You really feel looked after. And I had the same experience when we were in Chiang Mai. We stayed in a small boutique hotel and I made a friend, Luck. Hi, Luck. So she is still in contact with me. I have done a video with Luck where she took me around to her Sunday markets. She took me around, showed me some temples. We're still friends on Facebook. We still message each other. And that was my first trip to Thailand. And I made a friend. And I'm sure Luck and myself will stay friends. So, yes, stay in small places for a more authentic feel. So, yes, what I learned then was A, not to have expectations. B was about my travel style. I kind of was looking for a spot to park myself for a while. But what I discovered was I'm not quite ready to do that. I still want to be moving around and exploring places. And I really, going to Thailand didn't think that. I thought, oh, I'll go and find a spot and maybe spend 6 months there. But no, I've kind of feel like I need to move around a bit more, see a bit more before I settle down into one area. So that's kind of what I've learned about my travel style. Oh, I do have to mention, not having expectations, going with the flow. I do want to kind of keep moving around, but even though I move around, I did get burnt out in 2 months. Can you believe it? Just 2 months. I don't know how all those young YouTubers are flying around the world. I watch a lot of their videos, but honestly, I was exhausted. So I do feel like I would have to still move around, but slow travel. So maybe do 1 month in one area. So that's going to be what I will be doing next. So I hope I didn't waffle on too much. I hope you got some value out of this video, got to know me a little bit more, and subscribe if you haven't, if you've just randomly come across this video, to see where I'm going next and what I have got planned for 2025. So there's lots of travel coming up, and who knows, I might find my lucky spot one day, but if not, I'm fine with that. I'm still okay with traveling around and exploring the world. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.